Welcome back to another video, guys. Hope you guys are doing good. Today we're going to be talking about how you can make your Mustang Ecoboost 400 plus wheel horsepower. I have listed a few mods on a piece of paper and I have those prices down too. So about a year and a half ago when I started this YouTube channel, I didn't know where to start. I was a bit confused, which is why I'm going to make it easier for you guys who have stock Ecoboost and think your car is really slow. I'm going to suggest to you guys mods for your Mustang to make it go faster. And I've been getting a lot of messages on Instagram where people have been asking me what I have on my car that helps the 0-60 go low 4-second mark and how much everything costs. Okay, so the first thing that you definitely need to go faster and have about 400 to 420 wheel horsepower is a bigger turbo. The turbo that I'm talking about is the NX2 Precision. I have it on my car as well. It costs about close to $2,000. I believe that this turbo is supposed to come from factory from Ford. It's wonderful. It's better than the stock turbo. The stock turbo literally cuts power in higher RPMs. This turbo pulls in higher RPMs and makes the car feel a lot better. One thing I like about this turbo is that it's not too big where like you might have to build the engine to have this turbo on. This is a perfect stock location turbo. It goes straight on as a bolt-on. I believe the size of this turbo is a 5252, which is not that big. It's pretty small. But that means that there's no turbo lag or anything. Right when you hit the accelerator, the car just kicks in and just goes. Okay, as you guys can see, my turbo is right there, the NX2 Precision, right there. And if you guys can see it properly, we'll be like on this angle. Pretty much bolts on. And it's stock turbo location. So also don't forget to subscribe. The subscribe button is down there. So hit it. I have more banger videos coming soon. So yeah, let's just get back to the mods. The second item I recommend to buy on your car that I also have is a bigger intercooler. I don't mean by like just a small little upgrade from the factory one. For example, there's Mishimoto or like little bigger than the stock. I don't think that's really worth it. If you're gonna spend a couple of hundreds of dollars, I recommend buying a lot bigger one. For example, there's this race intercooler that I have right now. It's from CV Fab and it costs about $530. The same one I just mentioned. It's huge. If you were to zoom out, it pretty much covers the entire front, but it just makes the car look a lot better. You just like if somebody was to see this, they'll be like, yeah, there's definitely work done to the car. Just pull out my stock intercooler, you can see the size difference between this and that. I also wanted to mention one more thing regarding the CV Fab intercooler. And you don't have to necessarily buy the CV Fab intercooler, the race one, to go faster. There's a lot more intercoolers out there that are big and that can do the job. You just have to do a lot of research and find the right alternative. I know there's a few companies out there that make the same size as the CV Fab intercooler, but a lot cheaper. You know, we've been talking a lot, so let's go out, let's take a break and get some gas. The third item I recommend is a downpipe. And with the downpipe, I do recommend exhaust. It's up to you, but I'm not going to really include the exhaust in this video. You can get a lot more horsepower with a downpipe and a tune compared to just an exhaust. I do recommend buying a catted downpipe compared to a not catted one. Your car will be a lot louder if it's not catted, and it will just make this raspy noise. I'm not saying it's bad. It's up to you if you want to buy a catted one or a not catted one. I have a catted downpipe. I spent about $500 on my downpipe. Obviously the catted one is a lot expensive compared to a not catted one. The downpipe that I have is right there. I'm trying to get the best angle. It is right there. Exits from the turbo and it goes all the way down towards the exhaust. The fourth item that I'm going to talk about today is the wastegate. When you buy a bigger turbo, you do need a bigger wastegate. The one I run on my car is 14 psi. That might sound a little low, but I had to do a lot of preload turns. Some online stores do have the NX2 turbo with the wastegate. I do recommend going through that route compared to you just buying one on yourself. because when I bought mine, I didn't know what size wastegate I needed. I did buy an internal wastegate from TurboSmart, and that costed me about $185. Wastegate, it is right next to the turbo. It's right there. Turbo is right here, and this is the wastegate. As you guys can see, it is adjustable too, so I could pretty much deassemble this and replace the spring on this to a bigger spring, and it will allow more air. I don't know if you guys can see the back. There is the back end of it. The fifth item that I'm going to recommend are the charge pipe. Mainly the hot side, you could buy the cold side charge pipe too. The hot side is the one that connects with the turbo and the intercooler. But if you were to buy the cold side, it doesn't really matter. For the both, it's about $215. Not bad at all. It's really cheap compared to all the other mods that I have listed. The charge pipes are not going to really help make a lot of power. It helps with the race intercooler, because I know the race intercooler doesn't fit with the stock charge pipes. So you do need aftermarket charge pipes. Okay, so the CV Fab charge pipes that I have is this one, the hot side. I kind of made a mistake. I said that I have both of them, but this is the SR Performance one. But this one connects from the turbo to the intercooler. Like I said, the hot side is the more important one compared to the cold side. This one could just pretty much be stock. So the sixth, is this the sixth? Yeah. So the sixth mod that I recommend, the NGK spark plugs. A few months ago, where I installed them and I reviewed them, they were super cheap. I think they're about $50 when you buy them Gap. We need spark plugs, especially for maintenance. It claims that it does help with performance, and with $50, that's probably the cheapest performance mod you could do to your Mustang. Okay, so the spark plugs are in there. They're right below these coil packs. I made a video on it, so you guys can go check it out. I'll probably leave it in the description below, and I showed you guys exactly how to do it and more details on it on that video, so go watch it. The last thing I recommend on this list is tuning. You can't have all these mods on your car without a proper tune. Through Cobb, you could get a Pro Tune from PD Tuning. People go for Tune Plus 2. Both of those tuners are really good with the Mustang Ecoboost platform. But you buy a Cobb access port, do not tune from what is set on the access port. You pretty much just set it up and pair it with your car, and then you just buy one of the tunes from either PD Tuning, and they just send you tunes through the access port, and you can just load them up. Recently, I finished my E30 tuning from PD, and I loaded my last revision on there. This is what I used to have the Pro Tunes transferred over to my car. Reach for a tuner so who can send you tunes through an email, and then with the email you can download the tune onto this Cobb access port. So like I said, you go to tune. I can show you guys on the current map that I use right now, and it's pretty much the 2.6 with the stock high pressure fuel pump. So now I'm gonna say the total amount that's on the list and how much you guys have to spend to make that much horsepower. The total is $4,179 to make 420 wheel horsepower. Again, you could go for cheaper options, but this is just my list, and this is basically everything you need to go faster. A lot of guys use this setup on their Mustang Ecoboost, and I see a lot of them gapping other V8s. Yes, $4,000 may sound a lot. Save that amount of money and put it on your Mustang Ecoboost. You'll pretty much be gapping a lot of cars on the street. So yeah, this is my list of how to make 400 plus wheel horsepower. I hope you guys enjoyed. Trust me, I have close to the same setup as this, and my car hasn't broke down yet. I'm gonna knock on wood, because I don't want my car to break, but it's been a really reliable setup that I have, and I've been doing a lot of pulls. But then again, it's an Ecoboost. I won't even be surprised if I take the car out right now and it will probably blow up.